I'm glad it worked for all of us to join tonight. This is good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call this February 22nd, 2021 work session of the Management School Board to order. And the first agenda item is to approve the agenda. So does everybody have it? And does anybody have any questions before someone makes a motion to approve the agenda? Okay, someone want to make that motion?
I move that we approve. Go ahead, Teresa.
I move that we approve the agenda.
I second.
And John seconds, Teresa moves. Any discussion?
Hey, Teresa, I'd just like to say something,
Yes.
if I could.
Uh-huh.
Or not Teresa, sorry, Sherry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Rod.
Hey, I had a couple different people contact me this week about changes to the agenda in this meeting, and I don't favor doing that. I think that we want to keep this agenda clean as much as we can and just try to move forward with this as efficiently as possible and not cloud it with everything else.
I agree. And my response, if you saw my response to the Kleinschmidt's email, I was pretty clear about that. And, you know, for those listening, we're trying to keep things pretty tight and allow the administrators to do their job and not add a bunch of meetings to their calendars in between our regular monthly meetings. So yes, thank you, Rod. So any other discussion? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the poll. All in favor, Teresa?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And Greg?
Yes, did you hear me?
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
Greg. And Chair says aye as well. So thank you. So let's move on. We did hear from our attorney, and so I think we're good to go on item 3.1. If someone wants to make the motion to accept the resignation from Superintendent Troy Stoops dated February 9th, 2021.
I move that.
Go ahead, Teresa. Go ahead, Teresa.
Okay. I move that we accept the resignation of Troy Stoops dated February 9th, 2021.
I second.
John seconds, Teresa moves, John seconds. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's go ahead and take the poll. Teresa?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Greg?
Yes.
And Sherry votes aye as well. Thank you, that passes. So Troy, we've accepted your resignation. And then just to be official in our ability to recruit for Troy's position, we need to publicly declare a vacancy for our superintendent position of Mount Angel School District. So another motion would be to declare a vacancy for Mount Angel School District's superintendent position.
I move we declare a vacancy for the Mount Angel School Superintendent position.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Greg seconds, John moves, Greg seconds. Do we need to have any discussion? Any discussion?
Hey, Sherry, so what all does this do to get the ball rolling?
This allows us to get the ball rolling. Yeah, until we declare this, and this is my understanding based on Steve Kelly's information from last week's board meeting, until we officially declare the vacancy in a public meeting, we can't start an official recruitment for filling that vacancy.
Well, certainly they weren't going to take it on at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, I think, yeah.
Yep. I think it's just kind of one of those typical processes, steps to take. Yeah. Thank you, Rod. So any further discussion? So all in favor, Teresa?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And Greg?
Aye.
And Sherry votes aye as well. So vacancy officially declared. And now we'll move on to item 3.3. In our work session last week, we had the majority, in fact, unanimous opinion of our board members to hire a search agency to help support us through the recruitment process for the superintendent position. And so if someone wants to make a motion to hire OSBA as our search agency for the superintendent recruitment, that's what we can do.
Hey, Sherry,
Yeah.
can we, are we gonna like have a couple board members that are on the search committee, and when are we gonna start talking about that kind of stuff? I mean, can we start on that tonight, or is that next meeting?
Yeah, so again, this is my understanding, having kind of talked at length with Steve leading up to last week's meeting. So what happens once we hire the search agency and open the whole shebang for the recruitment, all 5 board members will be equally engaged in the process. And so executive session will be able to be called when we're talking about specific candidates and certain parts of the recruitment process. At our March 8th meeting, Steve or someone from OSB is going to be there to talk us through specifics of our process. And so one thing that Steve talked about when he was walking us through the proposed timeline that he presented is that, so the initial process for gathering the applications, that initial review, OSBA recommends getting a community panel together to review those initial batches of applicants and provide their input and recommendations for that initial weeding of applications before we get to that second part of the process, which would be interviews with the board. And so the board will not be hands off at all, but we're going to be relying on input from OSBA and from that initial review for qualifications and qualities. And I think that might even involve an interview with that panel of community members. And then and we'll decide all that at the March 8th meeting. So that'll be one of the details that we talk about. And then once that happens, then the board is actively involved in the interviews and the decision of who we're going to hire. That's it, very, very much simplified. So
Okay.
yeah.
And wait until March 8th.
And Rod, we actually could decide that maybe we only want 2 board members to participate in certain aspects of it, and I don't think that's going to be what we decide on. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I had thought that he had recommended something like that, and I was wondering about that, if we wanted to, but if we're all going to be involved with it, which I would really like us to be.
Yeah. And really, Rod, at this point, I think with hiring OSBA, I do think the opportunity for all 5 of us to just be equally involved throughout will make sense. And we could decide differently at the March 8th meeting, but I think that's what my initial guess is on the process.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we do have a motion on the table to hire OSBA as our search agency for superintendent recruitment. Any other discussion? Okay, I'm going to take the poll. All in favor, Teresa?
Aye.
Rod?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
And Sherry is aye as well, so that passes. So what that means for details of next steps is we'll sign a contract with OSBA, start paying them, and they are going to launch that qualities and qualifications survey this week, maybe as early as tomorrow. And I'm going to work with Troy to try to coordinate messaging about all that, just to, if I have any thoughts, and if any of you have any thoughts, funnel them through me on how we can best message about the recruitment and whatnot, which pages of our website make sense and things. But I think that's the next step. Does anybody have any more questions or comments about what we've done tonight?
Hey, did Steve provide that information somewhere, the qualities and qualifications thing? Because I missed that part of I got to the meeting late and I missed that.
Yeah, he did. And I'll look it up and I'll track it down and send the information to you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? So again, I want to say for those observing our meeting tonight, stay tuned for that survey. It's going to be a qualities and qualifications survey. We're going to invite anyone who wants to complete the survey, community members, staff, to just inform this process so the board is in a better position to choose a candidate from the applications we get for superintendent that will be the best fit for our district. So you will have influence on the process if you complete that survey. So any other comments or questions before I adjourn? Okay, good work tonight. Meeting
Thank you.
adjourned at 6:41.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Troy.
Bye.
Good night.